Today we're setting up the 20-gallon quarantine slash hospital tank. I have in a 30-gallon bow front, which you guys probably saw, two green terrors. One of the green terrors looks like he's getting picked on a little bit, mainly by the other green terror who has put on more size. So what we're doing is going to move the one into this tank so we can try and medicate, just to get his fins looking better, healing up, and maybe put on some size before we put him back in with the other guys. This is the 30-gallon bow front I was talking about, with the little green terror who looks like he's been picked on. You can see his fins are a little torn up. He's skittish. When I got them, they were originally both the same size. Now look at them. That's the other guy. He's looking beautiful. Hopefully when that quarantine gets set up, we can put him in the 20-gallon by himself and get him all healed up. Okay, so I'm kind of curious. I actually haven't ever tested the water straight from the tap. I know it's not straight from the tap. It's been running a little bit with the sponge filter and the little Aqualon Whisper. But we're going to go ahead and test it and see what this water looks like. Okay, so what we're going to be testing today is just the standard API freshwater kit. So we've got 4 vials. We're going to do pH, ammonia, nitrates, and nitrites. Alright, so we followed the instructions for each individual test. So what we're going to do is we're going to go look over. So first one, we're going to match up the pH. pH looks like it is extremely high. I'm going to have to redo. It comes with a high range pH test solution, so we're gonna have to redo that one, see what it really is, but it is definitely over 7.6, so that is not really good. Ammonia, if we look in the light, maybe 0.25. Next we have nitrites. Nitrites looks like it is at 0. Also with nitrates, which looks like it's at 0 as well. So, I mean, out of the top, not a lot of ammonia, which I thought it was going to be higher. pH, well, we'll see with the next test how that turns out. Okay, so what we're looking at is the high range pH there on the far left. It looks like it's probably between a 7.8 and an 8, somewhere in there. So actually we got scared a little with the first results on that pH. That blue was pretty dark, but looks like we're actually pretty good, surprisingly. Okay, so since the ammonia levels are pretty low, and like we said, we're going to try and watch this tank for a couple days before we actually throw the guy in there. Again, ammonia, looking at maybe there's a little trace in there. No nitrites yet, and doesn't look like any nitrates. So with the cycle, basically, it's the process of building up good beneficial bacteria and building up nitrates, basically is what the end game. So what starts with is ammonia, gets broken down into nitrites, which again get broken down into nitrates. So what we're actually looking for a decent tank is to have signs of nitrates. So since we don't have any, we're going to have to wait for that cycle. Again, throwing the sponge filter and the media into the hang on the back little filter there is going to speed it up, although it will not be instant. So what we're going to do to try and help it, we don't want to add anything like ammo lock, because then it just kind of stops the cycle from happening. What we are going to add is just a little bit of stress coat. It makes the taps of water safe. It basically removes all the chlorine and chloramines, detoxifies heavy metals. When we eventually do add the Green Terror in, we're also going to be adding in something called Melifix. Just as a kind of a precautionary thing, treats bacterial fish infections if any, damaged fins, open wounds, it promotes regrowth of damaged tissue and fins. So we'll be adding that in just to help him or her along the healing process. We tested the water 3 days ago. Well, today's going to be the third day. So what we're going to test again, we're just going to go through everything. Since we already know that the pH was high, we're going to be using the high range pH. And then we're going to go back and do ammonia, nitrite, and nitrates just to see if anything's changed. So let's go ahead and do that. Now we sit and wait. Alright, so looks like pH is still a little high. It's sitting at about 8.2, which we'll have to work on. Ammonia looks like it's down to 0, which is good. That means that it was at a 0.25 3 days ago, so that's good. Nitrites 0, which is awesome, and it looks like the nitrates have built up, so that's at like a 5. So we are good to go, and we can add our little guy in here and start working on him. Alright, so what we're going to do with this little guy, we basically took a little bucket, a little bowl with some of his water. Since the temperature in the other one is slightly different, we're just going to get him acclimated temperature wise. So we got the little net, and we're going to go in and we're going to try and get this little guy. In here, we're going to float them in the tank with a little clip just to keep him from floating away. And of course he's looking a little stressed out, getting moved around and whatnot, but he's going to be doing a lot better pretty soon. So we'll give this 10-15 minutes to kind of temperature acclimate, and we'll put him in and see how he does. Alright, so it's been a little over 15 minutes, almost 20. The temperature of the waters is acclimated. Should be good to go, so let's do this. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to add the stress coat and the Melifix just to kind of help them out. So stress coat, we add 10 milliliters. That's 5 for every 10 gallons. It's a 20-gallon tank. So this, 10 milliliters. Same with this, 10 milliliters. Okay, so he's in there. He's hiding. We'll see how this little guy starts doing. Hopefully he does better. Nobody in here to pick on him. So, we'll see. And we'll keep you guys updated. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.